out on this 14-turn 4-mile course in Davie Hamilton. Again, a rather pedestrian Friday afternoon session in which teams started to find some speed, but a lot of visits to the various runoff areas around this 14-turn course in that final practice session today as they started to push the ragged edge.
Yeah, and they're going to do it right now. This is when it really counts to get that great starting spot for tomorrow's race. What we're going to see is the majority of these cars go out with the primary tire, the primary harder compound Firestone tire, and then they're going to come in, make any change they feel they need to, put that softer alternate tire on, red sidewall softer compound tire, and that's when the tops are really going to start laying down. Now I have observed a few of the teams, a few of the cars, they went out on that softer tire already, but what that really means is they're struggling. They don't have the speed. They just don't have the sheer speed to make that fast 12.
And perhaps you are new to the format. They break it up into a couple of groups, and then the top 6 in each one of those groups advance to the round of 12. And from that 12, we arrive at the Firestone Fast 6, and that sets the top 6 cars as we get ready for race day. In this group, Alex Pillow, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott Dixon, Joseph Newgarden. Devlin DeFrancesco's been fast all weekend. Pato Ward, Graham Rahal, Nolan Siegel, Marcus Armstrong, Giffen Simpson, Callum Eilert, Robert Schwartzman, and Connor Daly. I was out in turn 1 for Indy Next by Firestone qualifying, and quite a bit of hazy sunshine, but a steady, at times very gusty wind when they crest the hill at the start-finish line. After the exit of turn number 14, they'll go back downhill and head towards a challenging turn 1, and Nick Yeoman will be keeping an eye on that throughout the weekend.
And I'll be honest with you, Mark, that wind that we've been documenting over the last hour or so has died down just a little bit here in turn number 1. Just saw this very heavy hitter group make their way through turn number 1 with guys like Newgarden, Dixon, and Pillow. Here comes some of the youngsters in IndyCar. Nolan Siegel really wide with Devlin DeFrancesco out of turn number 1. As you mentioned, it's a very fast right-hander of turn number 1, red and yellow curving to the inside. These guys carry a ton of speed, like Graham Rahal that time by to the first corner. After they leave my view, Mark, we'll hand them back off to you as they go downhill to the bend of turn number 2 to the tricky right-hander of turn 3 here at Road America.
Yeah, and then it's a gradual but very, very fast downhill run through the Maureen Sweep, which is turn number 4, a bit of a kink, and then they'll start to work their way ever so slightly to the right before a rather abrupt left-hand turn, which leads them to 5 and 6. That's a left-hander, and it's going to be a busy day today and tomorrow, we think, for RJ Query.
Graham Rahal, Robert Schwartzman among those who just navigated turn at number 5. So too Giffen Simpson, who's on those softer compound red tires. One of the interesting things here in turn number 5. You mentioned, Mark, it's a downhill left, and it has banking on it that wants to keep you kind of to the middle of the racetrack. But the weight, the speed of these cars can swing you to the outside, and there is a rumble strip that is a different surface. It is a concrete area between 2 areas of asphalt. The asphalt, of course, of the major track surface, and then another strip of asphalt just to the right of that area that is concrete. So if you get into that rumble area, that balance, that grip can go away just a little bit, but you've got to get things tightened up, because then you go uphill and you set yourself up for a left-handed turn number 6. And when you do so into the Corvette Bridge, you come into the view, as Connor Daly does, of Michael Young.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jake Query. Indeed, Connor Daly, Junko's Hollinger races, makes his way through turn number 7. You talked about that left-hander of turn number 6, and the drivers really waiting for that back end to settle in so they can grip up and head down this long straightaway called the Hurry Downs, as Pato Ward makes his way through this portion of the course right now, as well as Joseph Newgarden. So the left-hander of turn number 6. Then they will set the right sides on the apex of turn number 7, and then let the left sides drift out, as Alex Pillow just did. They'll get those left sides on the rumble strips. We saw Will Power go off track earlier today, nearly lost control of that car. Colton Herta has gone off here. So if they get side by side in this area, trying to make their way down to the setup of that left-hander of turn number 8, things can get very dicey. And after that left-hander of turn number 8, they set up for one of the portions of the course that many of the drivers love. It's just simply flat out, or try trying to hold that car as flat out as you can, and that's through the section of the course we call the carousel.
Yeah, Michael, the carousel, and it's flat out through there to the best of their ability, and then it's a little right-hander, turn number 11, off of turn number 10, which is the end of that carousel. That is the kink, and then Davey from 11 to 12 through 11A, which is a kink, is the kettle bottoms, and then it's the incredibly tight. It looks wide, not as wide as you think it is because of the runoff area to the left. Canada corner, and then that sets you up for, but lack of a better term, the S's from 12 to 14, which is my favorite part of the racetrack.
Yeah, that's right. Turn 12, that Canada corner, as you said, looks really wide. A lot of runoff room there, but the track is not that wide down there, so they need to get to that really good. We see a lot of people smoking their brakes, spinning off in that area already. Turn 13, you try to get through that little S for wide open. Not easy to do. Seen a few drivers go off there as well. Timeline is in between turn 13 and 14. Key is come off 14 and get a good run on the front straightaway.
Devlin DeFrancesco was on a flyer, and he had worked his way into the top 6, and he overshot turn number 14. He made a very wide exit, got into the runoff area. Lucky for him, he was able to keep it going. And Davey, at the 7-minute mark, we see cars on the pit lane with your fast 6. Ray Hall, Pelot, Siegel, DeFrancesco, Robert Schwartzman, and Kiffin Simpson.
Yeah, those 4 cars of Ray Hall, DeFrancesco, Schwartzman, and Simpson all have those softer reds on for the whole time. So they'll put another set on. That means they're struggling just a little bit to try to make that fast 12.
Ilott, Kirkwood, Award, Newgarden, Armstrong, Dixon, and Daly on the outside looking in for now. Let's head to the pit lane, check in with Alex Wolf.
And we have some takers up towards the front part of the pits. Kyle Kirkwood, the first one in, onto a sticker set of red tires. They're laid out for Scott Dixon and also for Alex Pelot. And they had those blowers trying to cool down the brakes a little bit for Kyle Kirkwood. And with good reason, ambient temperature 91, track temperature of 122. That was the sound of Kyle Kirkwood, about the only guy about as hot as the weather, winning the last 2 races and back out onto the course of Road America.
Alex Pelot in that solo livery this weekend. Good looking red race car with solo on the side pods, and he's working his way through the final couple of turns and off turn number 14. As Alex said, that crew is laid out, and so we expect him to head back to the pit box for service from his team, and we see Joseph Newgarden doing that very thing. So, Davey, we think you're going to get that outlap, and then you're going to get one shot out.
Yeah, 6 minutes left of this session, so you're going to get, like you said, get that outlap. Should be able to get 2 laps in with 6 minutes left, but it's they need to get after it. This 4-mile course takes a long time to get around it. Matter of fact, almost 2 minutes, minute 45 seconds.
So Graham Rahal at a 147, we should say, 9:029, and then Alex Pelot, Nolan Siegel, Devlin DeFrancesco, Schwartzman, and Simpson. Now, Pelot and Siegel turned those times on the primaries. Dixon 7th fastest, then Newgarden, then Ilott, then Kyle Kirkwood is 10th fastest. He did that on alternates. And then Pato Award and Marcus Armstrong and Connor Daly. Conditions all in all, I think, pretty good, especially if, as Nick suggests, that wind has died down.
Yeah, the wind's died down a little bit. Still very hard. 145, as you said, 145.25 fastest for Graham Rahal. But I expect to see, they're going to get the 144s. Pretty confident in that. Now, how low in the 144s, not sure. 143s, I think that's a stretch, but they've been there before. Don't know if they can do it this weekend.
One thing we haven't talked much about is all in all the grip level. Is this typical from the standpoint that it improves over the weekend?
Well, it does improve, but man, this heat really makes a difference. Now, one thing that's helping everybody out, you talked about that hazy sunshine, these hazy clouds kind of keeping the direct sunlight from beating straight down on that racetrack, which would have made it really hot. So the track temp is not as high as you think, even though the ambient temperature is. So that's helping these drivers a lot, trying to get more grip in these race cars.
But is this track so big that sometimes it's difficult to get a quote-unquote racing groove laid down?
Well, you can. You actually can. I mean, there's not near as many laps, so there's a lot of divisions here this weekend. You do get rubber down, but it's not like these short tracks where you get a massive amount of rubber down. I think it's a situation to where, there's it's not just one groove around here, but there's one fast groove for qualifying.
One top 5 and a couple of top 10s for Kiffin Simpson. Second half of the season, he's looking for a strong performance, Nick Yeoman.
Yep, and the alternate flyers have begun. Kyle Kirkwood, I think, is the first driver on one. That is the sound of Kiffin Simpson leaving turn number 1. He'll head downhill, Mark. He's on those alternate reds on a flyer as well. Robert Schwartzman clear of turn 1 as well.
And we still see cars continue to trickle off of pit lane with a pretty good gap behind him. So the first couple of takers for this round of qualifying in this first group. Let's talk about Kiffin Simpson or Robert Schwartzman, who headed to jQuery.
As a matter of fact, right now, it is Kiffin Simpson that comes down into turn number 5. I had mentioned on the first lap on those reds, that rear end was not near as stable as it is right now. I will now take a look at Robert Schwartzman. Michael, you'll want to pick him up here. Robert Schwartzman looks good. Middle of the racetrack, softer compound tires into 6.
Robert Schwartzman trying to find himself a little room here on track. And indeed, Kiffin Simpson, who made the Fast 12 last year, already sets up for that carousel as we keep an eye on the rookie Robert Schwartzman. Prema Racing makes that left-hander of turn number 8. Here comes Robert Schwartzman through turn number 9.
We are still waiting for this first, this group of drivers in this second part of this qualifying session. 3 minutes to go to clear that timing and scoring loop. We can tell you right now, it's Rahal, Palou, Siegel, it's Devlin DeFrancesco, it's Robert Schwartzman and Kiffin Simpson, and Nolan Siegel sandwiched in there. He turned his lap, Davey, on those primaries.
Yeah, that's right. He did turn the lap. 2 cars, Palou and Siegel, put those laps down on the primaries. Now, they got the alternates on now, so we're waiting to see what finds out. As you see, Kirkwood go way off course trying to get a fast lap down.
Yeah, Kyle Kirkwood is really throwing it around the racetrack, as they often do on these qualifying runs, and we see Kiffin Simpson. He's cleared that timing and scoring loop, and he turned in a pretty good lap all in all for Kiffin Simpson. Right now, he is 6th fastest in the session. Robert Schwartzman improves to P5 in that session, but we expect that top 6 is going to change plenty as this qualifying session continues to turn over as more cars clear that timing and scoring loop. We see Pato Award, he's out on the course, and everybody right now pretty much on those alternates looking to lay down that flyer, including Alex Palou, who heads to turn 1.
Yep, here come some of those heavy hitters starting lap number 2 on these alternates. The IndyCar points leader, Alex Palou, took it all the way to the left side of the racetrack, almost got the left side Firestones in the grass, tidied it up though, Mark, with a very clean exit as Pato Award chases him down into turn 3.
Looks pretty clean to the bottom of turn number 3, and it washes wide across the left side rumble strips, and now he'll get it right back to the middle of the racetrack, scoot underneath that bridge, and head toward turn 5, Alex Palou.
I'll tell you one driver that looks like he's got the best car control in this area of the racetrack so far. It's been Kyle Kirkwood, who has come screaming in and then very quickly gets that rear end to make that left-hander. Palou now worked just a little bit more wide, now sets up for turn number 6.
Alex Palou, 2-time winner here recently, the most recent win back in 2023. He sets up, right side's touch that curbing, left side's he does the same. Nice run down to the hurry downs through that left-hander of turn number 8. Good looking lap for Alex Palou.
Kyle Kirkwood clearly happy. His lap sends him to P1 at a 1:44.9703, and with about 55 seconds left, he decides to pull it into his pit box. Let's go to Nick Yeoman.
I don't think Scott Dixon's going to be happy with this current lap, Mark, as he approached turn number 1 just moments ago. He got the left sides off the racetrack. That car wiggled big time at the entrance of turn number 1, and Dixon had to save it, so the veteran going to have to gather it back up here as the clock continues to dwindle down in round 1 of qualifying.
And he doesn't have a lot of time, Davey, and currently he's 9th fastest.
Yeah, he's going to get the checkered flag. I mean, this lap, he's 9th fastest. Doesn't have another opportunity right now to do that as Palou. He finished his lap 1:44.477. Beats Kirkwood by a ways.
I got my eye on Pato Award. Yeah. He was mired around 12th position, and on that lap, he went up to P2.
That's right, P2. So now it's Palou. Palou, Pato, Kirkwood, Graham Rahal still hanging in there. Schwartzman, DeFrancesco just shoots up in that fast 6.
And just as you say that, he gets himself bumped out to that 7th position. So it's Palou, Ilott, Award, Kirkwood, Armstrong, and let's see, Newgarden in there as well as more cars head to Nick Yeoman in turn 1.
Here they come. It is Scott Dixon, who is still on a flyer, pinning that throttle. He's got Devlin DeFrancesco right behind him. Newgarden as well, Mark. All of them exiting turn number 1.
So Scott Dixon trying to do what Scott Dixon does, and that's pull off the late upset and get himself at least into the round of 12 as he sets up for turn number 3, and he clears it. So Jake Query, all eyes on the PNC bank machine of Scott Dixon heading to turn 5.
And he also knows that the clock isn't ticking on a good run here. The clock is done, so it's got to be now. As Scott Dixon works his way, looks very, very good. Devlin DeFrancesco got loose exiting turn number 5, leaves a little dust that Joseph Newgarden clears through.
Scott Dixon, his best ever start was 2nd, first time here, started 10th last year, and he has Devlin DeFrancesco about 10 car lengths behind him. Joseph Newgarden trying to wrap up his qualifying round 1, Group 1 as well. Scott Dixon, Devlin DeFrancesco, Joseph Newgarden through the carousel.
So Scott Dixon trying to get himself into the round of 12, and we're going to see if he's able to do it right now. He's coming up on Canada Corner here momentarily, works his way out of the carousel now, setting up for the kink and then the kettle bottoms, and then he'll head to Canada Corner. Scott Dixon currently, let's see, Davey, he's 13th fastest in this session, and we'll watch him, and he's cleared that timing and scoring loop. He, along with Devlin DeFrancesco and
Graham Rahal shoots a second that time by.
And I don't see much movement.
Dixon goes to third.
He did get across the timing and scoring line. He was one of the last ones to do so. He got to P3. We'll see if Joseph Newgarden clears that scoring line. He does not get in. So Devlin DeFrancesco going to be disappointed because he had a solid weekend as well up to this point. So here are the 6 that move on. Alex Palou, Graham Rahal, Scott Dixon, Callum Ilott, Pato Award, and Kyle Kirkwood on the outside looking in. Newgarden, Siegel, Armstrong, Schwartzman, Devlin DeFrancesco, Connor Daly, and Kiffin Simpson as qualifying continues for the SPL Grand Prix at Road America.
This is IndyCar Radio. Find out more at IndyCarRadio.com.
Start your engines, race fans. At Advance Auto Parts, our lineup of free services is like having your own local pit crew. Make Advance your next pit stop, and we'll test your battery for free and install a new Die-Hard battery with purchase. We also have free oil recycling, wiper installation, and more. Visit us. Use the Advance Auto Parts app or buy online. From the starting line to the checkered flag, Advance will help you get the job done. Advance Auto Parts is the official aftermarket automotive retail partner of the NTT IndyCar Series.
This is how we advance. If you're going on a trip and you need a car reservation, call the car reservation hotline now for access to every major rental car deal across the United States. We can save you a ton of money. Don't get lost searching, and don't get lost in an endless phone tree nightmare. When you call us, there's never a hold time. You'll get connected to a real human. We have access to crazy rental car deals. And we make it easy. Just one phone call to access everything. How much simpler can it get? Find out right now for free what kind of car rental deals we can get you. You'll be amazed. Pick up the phone and call the car rental hotline right now.
Call 800-797-1239. 800-797-1239.
We'll even give you one free rental car day with your reservation. Write this number down right now and call.
Call 800-797-1239. That's 800-797-1239.
Most Americans don't realize how difficult and how dangerous air travel can be for wheelchair users.
On average, 20 to 30 wheelchairs are damaged or lost by airlines every day.
Paralyzed Veterans of America has been leading the fight for change, but they need your support.
Join me in supporting Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We can make a difference. Join the fight today.
Join PVA in the fight at pva.org.
For over 30 years, Racing for Kids has been an integral part of the IndyCar community, connecting drivers with hospitalized kids at each of our race towns, giving them hope while they battle difficult recovery. Since a charity event this past Thursday here at Elkhart Lake, three-time Indy 500 winner Dario Franchitti challenged Alex Palou, raising $10,000 for this worthy charity. If Alex can do it, Dario would shave his head before the start of tomorrow's race. If you'd like to contribute to this worthy cause and see Dario shave his head, find Racing for Kids on Instagram, then click on their story and find the link to donate. There's only a few hours left to help Alex raise $10,000 for Racing for Kids, and that's significant because Dario likes his hair.
He does like his hair, but he's had it down there before. I've seen it where he shaved it down for a while, and so he's good doing it. And what a great cause for
Robbie
number
Buell.
one.
I remember Robbie Buell getting involved with him years and years ago.
Yeah, Robbie Buell started, long in the late 90s, I want to say. That it's been a long time, and Robbie Buell's done such a great job with that, Racing for Kids, and it's good to see it still going.
So, again, Race Control is looking at an issue between the 30 of Devlin DeFrancesco and the 9 of Scott Dixon. It may be significant simply because Dixon is currently third fastest in that group, and Devlin DeFrancesco, Davey, is 11th fastest.
He's 11th, and Devlin has been fast this weekend, and just finding down 11th. So I don't know. We didn't see what happened there. I mean, we watched him go around the best we could. I didn't see anything, but it could have been off camera or out of our view. So we'll wait and see what happens.
So again, the 6 that move on are Alex Palou. That was a 144.4775. Graham Rahal at a 144.8190. And then third fastest was Scott Dixon for now at a 144.8705. Callum Ilott at a 144.8834. Paddle awarded a 144.9664, and Kyle Kirkwood at a 144.9703. One of the surprises in terms of not moving on has to be Joseph Newgarden at a 144.9876.
Yeah,
but look at that margin, Davey. You got a 144.9703, and Newgarden just missed with a 98.76.
Yeah, I mean, so close. I did my little chart. I tried to just guess, and I missed it. I missed Newgarden's one I missed, and Idlot was in. So I had to, the rest of them I thought I had pinned pretty good, but we'll see what happens this next session.
Well, we talked a little bit about it earlier today with this Premat team. I mean, you look at Schwartzman with what he did, finishing in the top 10 at Worldwide Technology Raceway and getting himself on the pole for the Indianapolis 500, and now this run by Callum Island, guaranteeing himself at least a starting position of no worse than 12th for tomorrow's race.
Right. Yeah,
you can tell they've made some personnel changes as well and massaged on it throughout the course of the season, and they understand it's a big mountain to climb, but you're seeing progress week to week.
Yeah, and that's key, right? I mean, that's the best we've seen of them so far. Like I say, Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a completely different thing, and all these other races they all count. But this is the best we've seen so far.
Well, Robert Schwartzman in Indy, if we go back to that for a minute, he had other drivers setting up and taking notice. I mean, Scott Dixon, Joseph Newgarden, I mean, some veterans who have won there, all saw what they were doing and said, hey, this is no fluke. This kid's got it figured out.
Yeah, he's got it figured out. They had that car figured out. And for a new team, I mean, we talk about a rookie that it hasn't been since 1983 that a rookie set on the pole. But then I went back and said, well, when was the last rookie team that has been on a pole? And it's been a long time as well. So really good. Hats off to those guys. He did a great job driving it. And now the rest of the season comes, and they need to continue to work on that team. We've heard some behind-the-scenes things. There's some struggles, but what do you expect from a brand-new program?
Nick Yeoman, give us a recap of Indy next for those that might not have been listening a little while ago.
Yeah, Dennis Hauger won the pole, Mark.
That's it. Okay, thanks, Nick.
I mean, for the fifth time this season, he has been lightning quick. Hasn't mattered whether we go to ovals, road courses, or street circuits. This driver from Norway who joined Andretti Global after coming over from Europe in F2 where he won races. That was one step away from Formula One. He has picked up the Indy Next machine very, very nicely. Set a really nice lap in Group Number 1. Group Number 2 went out of the racetrack, had a late yellow flag with a spin by Salvador de Alba, so really kind of threw a wrench in the plans for drivers like Lockie Hughes and Kyle Collette, who have been awful fast. They were not able to knock off Dennis Hauger, so it'll be the Norwegian driver leaving the field of the green flag when we go racing tomorrow. Kyle Collette will start to his outside. Some good qualifying runs as well. Josh Pearson is going to start in row number 2. He had a really good day. Jack William Miller, the son of former IndyCar driver Dr. Jack Miller, he's going to start in row number 3. So a couple upset potentials there, but everybody's going to be chasing after Dennis Hauger, who has been dominant this year, Mark. 5 poles and 4 wins as we close in on the halfway of the season.
I know Lockie Hughes trails Dennis Hauger by 19 points, Nick, but I'll tell you, don't lose sight of Kyle Collette. He's been strong all weekend here. He's a veteran. He's been through these wars before. And I really think when the weather starts to heat up, I think Kyle Collette looks like he's going to heat up too.
Yeah, and we sensed a little frustration with him after qualifying because I think he really wanted that pole position. I think he knows he's like 78 points back of Hauger and another 50-plus to get to Lockie Hughes in second. So I think Kyle Collette knows, hey, the pressure is starting to mount during these summer months. He's going to have to start picking up some poles and some race wins. So I think, Mark, you're going to have an interesting race down into turn number 1 when we drop the green flag tomorrow, with Collette knowing he needs to get on his horse and start collecting points, and most importantly, finishing ahead of our pole sitter, Dennis Hauger.
Historic weekend here a year ago, Davey, when Jamie Chadwick got the victory.
Yeah, really good job by Jamie. She led majority of this race, if not all of it, and didn't put a wheel wrong, and she had a lot of pressure from Foster and Abel, and she held on to it, got her first and only win in the Indy Next Series. And like to see her, there was no slots for her in either Next or IndyCar. So I seen her on TV doing some stuff in Europe, but not sure what series that is, but love to see her back in the cockpit.
Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, July 4th through the 6th. That's where we're headed next. Join us on the IndyCar app powered by NTT Data. For live coverage of every lap, including practice on Friday and qualifying on Saturday. Then listen to live flag-to-flag coverage of the race Sunday afternoon at 12:30 Eastern on radio stations nationwide. And join us for our pre-race show tomorrow. We'll be visiting with the president of the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Craig Rust. He's awfully excited about some of the improvements that have been made, and looking forward to having a lot of folks show up at Mid-Ohio. And it looks like Scott Dixon has been issued a penalty by race control. And, Davey, it looks like he has tumbled to 13th in that qualifying session.
Man.
And Scott Dixon is getting out of his race car.
Yeah, not sure exactly what happened there, but that puts Newgarden back into the mix. Dixon out, getting out of his car right now. How frustrating is that when he'll start dead last on this field tomorrow? And we'll see it right here. It's actually coming down that back straightaway. And, man, I don't know. I mean, he may have held him up, but Dixon looks like he's getting a lap in too. So not sure what they seen there, if Dixon actually slowed down. Looks like they were coming to the timeline, but pretty interesting. Not sure exactly what.
I mean, it looks like both were on a qualifying run. I mean, it looked as though DeFrancesco might have been faster there.
Yeah, but I think faster doesn't mean you have to pull over if you're both going for laps. So I'm not sure what they seen, but obviously they made the decision to pull that lap from Scott, which puts him dead last in the field. Not good.
And maybe if Scott Dixon is not in the mood to discuss it, maybe we can get someone else with that race team. Maybe Mike Hall or someone will give us a little insight as to what the ruling was from race control and their opinion of it. So here we go. We'll see Palou, Rahal, Ilott, Pato O'Ward, Kyle Kirkwood, and things just got a little sunnier for Joseph Newgarden. Although it's interesting though, Joseph has gotten out of the car. And
yeah, I think it's such, it's so hot out there right now. So they're just sitting in the car with his Group 2. I seen Graham Rahal, he got right out, get out and go off a little bit. While Group 2, there's a little bit of a break between Group 2 and the Fast 12. So they decided to get out and cool off just a little bit.
Well, I mean, when the cockpit's probably under 510, it does feel better when you get out and it's only 90.
Yeah, that's right. Just get a little bit of airflow.
And there is plenty of airflow. We've talked about that. There is plenty of airflow for sure. So we'll see if the drivers can get out and get some relief this 12-minute session before they climb back into the race car as we see the green flag displayed. And Will Power will be the first one to exit the pits, and Scott McLaughlin will follow him out along with David Lucas and others. Let's go to Joel Sebastianelli.
Devlin DeFrancesco was waiting in the car for quite a while. You'll move up to row 10. What was your view of the incident that Scott Dixon was penalized for?
Man, what the hell? He just blocked us for no reason. Like, we caught him up, he backed out, and then went for another lap again. There was clearly no need for him to do that. There's no need for him to do that. You know, it absolutely ruined our qualifying after what such a good Friday we had and a pretty good Saturday morning. There was just no need for it. It's just ridiculous.
Understandably displeased, Devin DeFrancesco from row 10. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I think that clears it up, Davey, in terms of Devlin DeFrancesco's opinion as to what happened.
Yeah, and what we can't see is throttle traces, which race control can. And Scott slowed down. It could have been a situation where he slowed down, not even realizing that Devlin was that close behind him and it affected his lap. So Scott knows what happened. Devlin knows what happened. Obviously, he's a little, Scott's one of the best in the business, and it's hard to question him, but everybody makes mistakes.
So again, Alex Palou, Graham Rahal, Callum Ilott, Pato O'Ward, Kyle Kirkwood, and Joseph Newgarden are the drivers that move on. Nolan Siegel does not. Armstrong does not. Schwartzman doesn't. Devlin DeFrancesco, Connor Daly, Kiffin Simpson, and Scott Dixon, Davey, is going to roll off around that 25th.
Yeah, I mean 25th tomorrow, not dead last because he's in the smaller group. So 20, there's an extra car in the group number 2. Now it depends on how this all lays out between group 1s and 2. But anyways, we'll find out here soon. But yeah, he's got some second to last row.
So the pace starts to quicken a little bit for these cars and drivers that are in this second group. Among them, the Verizon machine of the race defending champion, Will Power, heads to turn 1.
Yeah, Team Penske had such a great year here a year ago, sweeping the podium, and it was Will Power who stood on the top shelf. He exits turn number 1. Scott McLaughlin follows that at turn 3.
Let's go to Joel Sebastianelli.
With Robert Schwartzman now, who will start from row 9. What's your assessment of the race car you've got for tomorrow?
Well, we have definitely managed to improve a bit the car from free practices. I had a couple of issues on the car that we're investigating now in the data that had given us quite a bit of loss. We don't know yet, so we're just trying to figure it out. But we see that I had some losses out of the corners for some reason. We try our best to figure out what was the issue. It's a bit unfortunate because my theoretical is half a second faster, so we will definitely be able to enter the top 6, but just something was going on my second run, and we have to have a look what was the issue and figure it out. But overall, I'm quite happy because balance-wise, we managed to improve the car quite a bit, so it felt way better than before. Yeah, so tomorrow is going to be a long race, but we'll try to do our best, to get up through to the top.
We wish you good luck for tomorrow. Mark, he's another one of those drivers who compares this to Spa, one of his favorite racetracks.
Let's go to Alex Wolf.
Well, you heard Devlin DeFrancesco's side of the issue, the penalty with the 9 car. Scott Dixon tried to get a comment from Mike Hall or Scott Dixon. They both politely waved us off. A lot of frustration in the 9 pit after that, a penalty that eliminates them from Group 1.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It eliminates them from Group 1. And this group features Power, McLaughlin, Herta, Malukas, Lundgaard, and Felix Rosenqvist, Ferrucci, VK Foster, Rasmussen, Marcus Ericsson, Scott McLaughlin, as we mentioned, P2 after lap number 1, Nick Yeoman.
He's got the title sponsor of XPEL on that car, the yellow side pods, and the cockpit is a pearl white for Scott McLaughlin. Nice clean exit mark out of turn 1.
Going to be some pretty fast race cars headed your way. We expect them to be fast anyway, Jake Query. The first one will be Will Power, then it'll be Scott McLaughlin and a host of others.
Just how competitive is this series? In Group 1, you felt like that was all the heavy hitters. Then you look at Group 2 and you think, no, there's a stout group here as well, led by Will Power, who got a little bit loose in this area during the practice session. No problems now. He crests the hill, now sets up for turn number 6. His teammate Scott McLaughlin just behind.
Will Power qualifying 5th last year, trying to one-up and match what he did just one weekend ago at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Grabbed himself a pole. Scott McLaughlin about a second and a half behind him. Then it's David Malukas making his way through turn number 7. So too Colton Herta. That's the 4 drivers making their way through the carousel.
21 machine of Christian Rasmussen with a wide exit off of turn number 14.
Went really wide off turn 14. Was able to continue it on, but it got back on racetrack, but definitely went off wide turn 14.
Jake Query.
Obviously, if you want to do it in a session, it would be at the outset of it. And what I'm talking about is what just happened to Rinus VK. Got a little bit wide here through turn number 5. That right side rubber got just over the rumble strips and started to touch what we call that kitty litter. He got down in through the gearbox and back up to speed. But if he was looking for a good lap or an idea what his car might do for Rinus VK, that's going to elude him here in turn number 5.
Great to see direct supply on the side pods of that car. Christian Rasmussen, Davey, they were involved with Sarah Fisher's race team for years. I know we've seen him at Milwaukee. We've seen him at Milwaukee for a long, long time, and they've been working with Ed Carpenter Racing over the past several years now, and they're actually on the side pods of his car this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Great to see them continue on that partnership. Obviously, you always see him in Milwaukee, and now see him here at Road America just right up the road. And a great bunch of people, by the way, and they're real supporters of IndyCar racing. They've been involved a long time and continue to do it. Always helps the program out.
Felix Rosenqvist to turn 1, Nick Yeoman.
He will dive into turn number 1. Moments ago, he and Alexander Rossi were dicing it up like they were racing in turn number 1. Now they found a little separation. Rossi about 8 car lengths ahead of Rosenqvist down the hill.
And Felix Rosenqvist, it's been a pretty good season for him. 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s, but he's led only 5 laps on the season. In 6 starts here, he was 6th in 2019 and 2022, Jake Query.
He has been a solid qualifier this year, has Felix Rosenqvist. He is chasing now, as Nick had mentioned, Alexander Rossi, who swings wide off turn number 5. On the black tires, it is Rosenqvist. Little bit tighter line exiting turn number 5.
Winner of 2020, Felix Rosenqvist making his way through the turn 6 portion of this course. He has Alexander Rossi in front of him. Left side's hit that curbing as he makes his way through the hurry downs, that left-hander of turn number 8. Good looking lap thus far for Felix Rosenqvist.
Here's what a difference those alternates make, Davey. Christian Lundgaard was 12th fastest right now on the primaries. He was P1 on the primaries a few moments ago.
That's right, 147.1. Another 145.1, so 3 seconds. Wow, pretty amazing.
Let's go to Alex Wolf.
We're starting to see that switchover happen in this group. Christian Lundgaard, quickest in the morning practice session, came in a few moments ago, switched those alternate red sidewall tires, and they've been cooling that 7 car off. Also saw Colton Herta roll in to get on some reds. And they're laid out for Marcus Ericsson for the red sidewall alternate tires as well.
Essentially the halfway point now of this second group, and it's Louis Foster, Felix Rosenqvist, Marcus Ericsson, Santino Ferrucci, Alexander Rossi, and Colton Herta, the fastest 6. Power, McLaughlin, Malukas, Stingray Robb, Jacob Abel, Christian Lundgaard, Rinus VK, Christian Rasmussen, 7th through 12th. We should clarify, though, that all the primaries in that group right now, Felix Rosenqvist is 2nd, Santino Ferrucci is 4th, and Colton Herta is 6th. Power, McLaughlin, Malukas, 7th, 8th, and 9th are on the primaries, along with Lundgaard, 12th, and VK, 13th. So that gives you an idea of what the mix-up is and how everybody's going to pretty much be on those alternates now in the last 6 minutes of this session.
Now, that's right. With 5.5 minutes left, everybody will be on those alternate tires, as you said. They're all pulling out right now. They all have them on. Now they just have to cross that timeline before it shows. See one more car coming up pit lane right now to get those alternates on. Oh, that's Rasmussen, who already had an original set of reds on going to a second set.
Yeah, and you see Rasmussen working his way into the pit box now. As a matter of fact, we can see Rasmussen across from us. We can see Jacob Abel. He's going through the alternates, and we can also see the 77 of Stingray Rob. His crew is looking on right now, and now they start to go to work a little bit. They waited for about 90 seconds or so and before they put those on. Abel leaves, and now the 21 of Rasmussen leaves. Let's hear from Nolan Siegel.
Nolan will start in row 7 tomorrow. What kind of position do you feel like you're in with this car?
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. It's I think like a 10th and a half would have moved us to like second in our group or something ridiculous. So it's very, very tight, and I think we have a good race car. I missed it a little bit in that session. It's frustrating. I think we had potential for sure to be in the Fast 12, but I think there are probably a lot of people saying that and a lot of good cars that didn't transfer. So we're in a good spot for tomorrow. We're, I don't know if it really matters if we were 2 spots up the grid from where we are. We'll do what we can, and it's a place where we can pass too. So I'm really excited to race here again, and it always produces such a fun race.
There is some exciting news for this timing stand as well. You're going to be joined by Kyle Moyer. How did you process hearing that news?
Yeah, I haven't known for long, much longer than everyone else, but no, I'm really excited. I haven't worked with Kyle at all in the past, but I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm really excited. I think, with him and Scott Harner both on the stand, we're going to have a lot of experience. We're going to have a great mix of kind of new, younger people and very experienced, very accomplished people in IndyCar, and I think that's going to be a great pairing. So really, really excited for the back half of this season.
A lot of experience and a good outlook for Nolan Siegel in the Chevy. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm impressed, Davey, that he's talented enough to refer to Scott Harner and Kyle Moyer as old without coming around and saying it.
Yeah, right. That was a good way of putting it. I was going to say the same thing, yeah.
So, Louis Foster, Felix Rosenquist, Marcus Ericsson, Christian Rasmussen, Santino Ferrucci, and Alexander Rossi are the Fast 6 right now. Herta, Power, McLaughlin, Malukas, Stingray Rob, Jacob Abel, Christian Lundgaard, and Renus VK are all trying to get in to the round of 12, and the drivers they will be joining include Palou, Rahal, Eilert, O'Ward, Kirkwood, and Joseph Newgarden. Christian Rasmussen podium finish at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Nick?
Yep, first career podium, and after he won that third place trophy, did a nice little social media photo shoot where I think he took that trophy pickleballing. I think they went and got some Java House. Got a good laugh at it, Mark, as they finally got that podium finish for Rasmussen.
We watched Jacob Abel roar by the flag stand as well. So yeah, Christian Rasmussen, things coming together nicely with ECR Racing for that young driver, Jake Query, as he heads to turn 5.
I don't think there's any doubt about the fact that if there is speed in the car, Christian Rasmussen is going to find it. He looks very good now as he sets up. Very, very stable through turn number 5. Wind picks up just a little bit, but he cuts through it as Rasmussen sets up for turn number 6.
Somewhat dies down here in turn number 6. Headed down to turn number 7 is Christian Rasmussen. Alexander Rossi working his way through this portion of the course as well. But for Christian Rasmussen, such a likable young man, and for what he was able to accomplish as he hits the apex of turn number 7 just 1 weekend ago and getting that podium. I think we all knew he had it in him, but to be able to see that personality shine, he is certainly a bright star and a bright future here in the NTT IndyCar Series.
Felix Rosenquist the next to turn 1.
I've been watching the couple cars ahead of him, guys like Colton Herta, a little sideways, as well as Will Power. Felix Rosenquist down the hill into turn number 3.
Into turn number 3 goes Felix Rosenquist with a gaggle of cars in front. A nice thing about a 4-mile course, Jake Query, there is plenty of distance for these drivers to be able to get a good, clean qualifying lap in.
And this is the point in qualifying where that's what they're looking for. It is David Malukas that just went through turn number 5. He is followed by a little bit squirrely version of Colton Herta, who was loose on the rear of that race car. And then it's Felix Rosenquist. Softer red tires, and Felix Rosenquist drove him right through the dirt at the exit of turn number 5.
Everybody's on him as we see Colton Herta nearly take those left sides off track. Felix Rosenquist does the same. Nice run down into that left-hander of turn number 8. Felix Rosenquist enters the carousel.
1 minute to go. Let's keep an eye on Jacob Abel now as he heads toward turn number 1.
Yep, everybody going to find a little more speed here right at the end of qualifying. Can they maximize on these alternate softer tires? Jacob Abel's got him on, and he'll head down the hill into turn number 3.
Christian Lundgaard has gone to P1. He's been fast all weekend. Louis Foster trying to catch up to him. Felix Rosenquist, Ericsson, Rasmussen, Ferrucci, the top 6. Will Power goes to P5. Jake Query as Jacob Abel heads your way.
Jacob Abel was a little bit loose the last 2 times by he came through this area. He is now going to go through an area that Marcus Ericsson and as well Rasmussen have vacated. We'll keep an eye on Jacob Abel. This rookie red, white, and black car looks pretty good as he sets up for turn number 6.
Everybody rooting for Jacob Abel, that young man who made the transition from Indy Next by Firestone back end, wiggles ever so slightly. What a good line through turn number 7 for Jacob, trying to get himself into that fast 12 as he exits turn number 8.
Checkered flag is out on the session, which means this will be the final lap of this particular group. And as it stands right now, it's Lundgaard, Felix Rosenquist, Louis Foster, Colton Herta, Marcus Ericsson, and Will Power. I believe that's the Sexton machine headed your way, Nick Yeoman.
Yep, that is Santino Ferrucci, not one of those drivers you just mentioned in the top 6. So, Mark, he's going to have to hustle final lap in that all-black 14 out of the turn 3.
And he's not far away because he's currently 8th fastest. Christian Rasmussen is just in front of him. He's at a 1:45.5780. He's got a beat a 1:45.7. Jake Query, he heads to turn number 5.
And he has this track all by his lonesome as he sets his way through. Again, that black Sexton Properties machine kind of blends in with that track surface. Santino Ferrucci to turn number 6.
Marlene Sexton passing away earlier this week. The tribute to her and her longtime support of not only AJ Foyt Racing, but of Santino Ferrucci as well. Gold numbers, beautiful paint scheme. Santino Ferrucci heads into the carousel.
He's setting up for turn number 8, now works it back through turn number 9, and now he's going to work around that carousel. And Dave, you say most of these drivers should be full song around that carousel.
Yeah, they should be, or they're at least trying to. Matter of fact, Will Power, he had a bit of a mistake in Canada Corner, but he made up for it, puts himself in that P3 position as his teammate Scott McLaughlin slides in right front of him in P2. Then it's David Malukas now in that 3rd spot, putting Power to 4th. Rosenquist and Foster right now with Marcus on the outside looking in.
Through the kettle bottoms and through that turn number 12. It is a tight one, which is Canada Corner. Now he works his way through 13 and 14 to Santino Ferrucci. He will clear that timing and scoring loop, and we will see if he improved his position. It doesn't appear as though he did, and Santino Ferrucci is 9th fastest in the session. So here's the 6 that are moving on. Christian Lundgaard, Scott McLaughlin, David Malukas, Will Power, Felix Rosenquist, and how about rookie Louis Foster, 6th fastest in the session. Not moving on, Ericsson, Herta, Ferrucci, Rasmussen, VK, Alexander Rossi, Stingray Robb, and Jacob Abel as qualifying continues for the XPEL Grand Prix at Road America.
This is IndyCar Radio. Find us on the IndyCar app powered by NTT.
The Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot are in a league of their own when it comes to rugged capability. Their relentless power and versatility make these vehicles the ultimate challengers for exhilarating adventures and formidable terrain. But it's not just performance that makes these cars special. It's the unwavering determination that inspires everything we do. That's why we're KBB.com's best value brand of 2023. Visit your local Honda dealer or shop online today.
Available all-wheel drive on Pilot based on 2023 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
Learn how thousands of smart homeowners are investing about $1 to avoid expensive home repair bills. John, a former non-customer, said, "My air conditioner broke and I had to spend $1,900 to fix it." Jeff, a customer, wrote, "My air conditioner broke and I got a new one at no out-of-pocket cost." Mary, a former non-customer, wrote, "My heating system stopped running. I had to spend $3,000 to get a new one." Lisa, a customer, wrote, "My heater stopped working. I got it fixed at no out-of-pocket cost." For about $1 a day, you can have all the major appliances and systems in your home guaranteed fixed or replaced. Call now. If the lines are busy, please call back.
Call the Home Warranty Hotline now at 800-413-4376 800-413-4376. 800-413-4376. That's 800-413-4376.
What's the difference between a Hinchman fire suit and others? Safety. Hinchman fire suits are made with materials that are permanently fire resistant. Experience and innovation. Peter DiPaolo wore the first Hinchman fire suit in the Indianapolis 500 nearly a century ago. Quality and value. Your fire suit is an investment in your safety. Hinchman Racing Uniforms. Committed to giving you the safest and best fire suits along with friendly personal service. That's why we say nothing fits like a Hinchman.
Welcome back to Road America. And here's the round of 12. Alex Palou, Graham Rahal, Callum Ilott, Pato Ward, Kyle Kirkwood, Joseph Newgarden, Christian Lundgaard, Scott McLaughlin, David Malukas, Will Power, Felix Rosenquist, and Louis Foster, as you pointed out during the break. A good day so far for Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan Racing, and who knows what might have happened with Devlin DeFrancesco. Race control said he was held up by Scott Dixon. As a result, Dixon was moved to the rear of the field, but that did not allow DeFrancesco to improve his position. He feels like he's got a fast race car, but a lot of work to do. He'll start 19th.
He'll start 19th tomorrow, and you're right. So 2 Rahal cars in that top 12 is pretty impressive.
Let's hear from Marcus Ericsson.
Marcus Ericsson getting on the timing stand and the fist bumps with the crew. I mean, such a razor-thin margin, 5/100ths of a second. Was it a one spot on the track, or was it just a cumulative for the 28?
I would have to look at it, but we've had a really tough weekend. Yesterday's practice and this morning's practice, the car was just not in the window, and we were really slow. So with that in mind, I think the 28 Fresh Connect crew has done a really good job putting us more in the window. You know, it's frustrating to be just, that far, that close to go through to fast well, but I'm still, I'm happy to see the progress because we've improved, so that's a positive. And then it's still, a long race tomorrow. This track, it's a lot of overtaking opportunities, so we can fight from there. We want to be higher up for sure, but yeah, it's a good step in the right direction.
Running on the ragged edge, I know physical enough as is, but then we mix in 90 degrees. What's the physicality in the cockpit in this session?
Yeah, it's not so physical, but it's just hot, you're overheating there, and that'll be the challenge tomorrow. Everyone is in the same boat there and just trying to stay hydrated before the race and then fight through it. But hopefully that will, show who has been doing their work in the off season and not. So I'm feeling good about that. The hotter and stickier, the better for me.
That's Marcus Ericsson as he musters a smile as he looks ahead to tomorrow. Over to Joel.
We'll see if the same can be said for Santino Ferrucci. Starting from row 9, what are you guys dealing with in the 14?
Yeah, obviously we're really happy with the pace on the black tires, or prime tires. I think we really actually understand what happened, which is a bummer, but also a good thing. So we'll make the changes for tomorrow. 3 sets of sticker alternates. Drive it forward, man. I mean, I feel like you can pass on this track, and I'm not afraid to race, so I'll get it up there.
We saw that at Detroit. You came from 21st to 2nd. Do you have a feeling for what it will take to do that tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we just kind of missed something in the mid-corner rotation. Like I said, I'm not afraid to break late, get on it, so I guess I'm just at this point padding my passing stats for the season, unfortunately. But, yeah.
That's Santino Ferrucci. Thank you and good luck.
Thanks.
There's no question that he will put it places where others may not, and we have seen that on more than one occasion. I'm not saying that he puts himself or anybody else at risk. He races hard.
He definitely races hard in a situation where on the alternate tire just doesn't seem to rotate. Now, he said he had 3 sets of alternates left. Does that mean he's going to run those tomorrow, or are they going to wear out quick? We've yet to really get a good answer from anybody if that's going to be the optimal tire to run tomorrow, or if it's going to be the primary tire. So we'll find more about that tomorrow morning's warm-up session.
It's like Dario Franchitti used to say about young drivers. He said, I taught him everything that he knows, but I didn't teach him everything that I know.
Yeah, that's right.
And a lot of times they don't share everything with us for a number of reasons. But back to Marcus Ericsson, about as positive of a guy as you'll find. Just 1 top 10 and 19 laps led on the season, and it has been I think, a season and a half of frustration for him with Andretti.
Yeah, it's really been a challenge for him. I mean, the only brightness that he had was he ran second at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the second time, and he's done. We know he's won there, but then that second place was taken away from him for a post-race penalty, and so that's the only glimmer of hope he's had in the rest of the season. Really been struggling, and hate to see that for him, and I know he continues to try. Said that it's the best the car's been this weekend, so that's the positive of today's qualifying.
I think it'll be good here. I mean, he's made 7 starts. He finished second in 2022. In fact, Davey, 6 of his 7 finishes have been inside the top 10, so he's had success.
He can for sure. In the top 10, you say you want to get that top 10, but you really want to be in the top 5. But anymore, as competitive as this is, top 10 is a good accomplishment.
109th Indy 500 is history, but you can relive every exciting moment with your own copy of our race broadcast. Go to INDYCARradio.com and search for historical Indy 500 broadcasts. Download our radio broadcasts and hear every second, including opening ceremonies, the exciting start, and every lap to the checkered flag. You can go to INDYCARradio.com to own a piece of Indy 500 history, and we strongly recommend you do so. So it's Alex Below, Graham Rahal, Callum Ilott, Pato O'Ward, Kyle Kirkwood, Joseph Newgarden, Christian Lundgaard, Scott McLaughlin, David Malukas, Will Power, Felix Rosenquist, and Louis Foster in the round of 12. The clock will start momentarily, and we'll keep an eye on that and hear from Christian Rasmussen.
He is in row 10. What are you dealing with, and what do you think you may be able to do to get this car in the right place for tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a good question. We've been struggling for pace all weekend long, through practice 1, through practice 2, and same here in qualifying. It seems like no matter what we do to the car, it just doesn't really respond to our changes. So I think we could have qualified a little bit better. My problem in qualifying was just getting the tires up to temp quick enough for that second run. I was compared to my first run, I was like 0.3 down coming out of 14, but still ended out improving my lap time. So had we had that 0.3, we would have transferred. So for us, it was just we couldn't get the tires switched on quick enough. But yeah, we have some work to do for the race car tomorrow for sure. It's not where we want to start. But yeah, I mean, we started far down last weekend, and that obviously went all right. So hopefully we can do something tomorrow.
We saw how it worked there. We saw how it worked in Indy. You guys have been consistent, and you've been good. What kind of confidence does that give you going into tomorrow?
Yeah, it's we've had some good weekends in a row. The 500 was good for us. I think overall, Detroit was really good for us. Just didn't get the result because of an engine failure, as well as getting my first podium last weekend. So we've been on a good steam. This has definitely been the weekend where we've struggled the most for pace, I think, in a while. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll just have to keep working at it, try to improve the car for tomorrow, and then see what we get.
We'll see Christian Rasmussen roll off roll 10. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff from the driver who finished third at Worldwide Technology Raceway, his first career podium and first appearance at that racetrack. And they're starting to clear the timing and scoring loop. Nick Yeoman, the first to do it, was Will Power. He'll be followed shortly thereafter by his teammate Scott McLaughlin and eventually Pato O'Ward.
Yep, so lap number 1 in the books for all these drivers. How about lap number 2? Will Power will start it very smoothly. He swings really wide at the exit of turn number 1, but again, that's what you want to do. You want to carry a lot of speed. Scott McLaughlin, not so smooth. The rear of that car wiggled back and forth. Mark, he had to do a heck of a job just to save it as they head down to turn 3.
And underneath the Sargento Bridge scoots Will Power, which means it's time for Jake Query to pick him up.
Will Power in this qualifying session will do it just like he has done 71 times at the end of qualifying, being in the front of the field. That rear end really started to step out on Will Power through turn number 5. He corralled it, works his way into turn number 6. His teammate Scott McLaughlin a little more stable into 6.
Gets stepped out front and wiggled ever so slightly as well. Will Power is pushing, trying to get a big lap here. Could this be the one to get him to the fast 6? A left-hander through turn number 8. Scott McLaughlin about 2 seconds behind.
Callum Ilott looking impressive through the first stint, Davey. He has gone to P1.
Yeah, really good run. I mean, that Prema team, best we've seen all year by far. Don't know if he's going to end up there. Matter of fact, pretty sure he's not at that 146.59. Don't think that's going to cut it. They're going to be down to that 145 bracket, no question about it. So, but right off, good run for him.
Surprised to see so many drivers that started this session on the alternates?
No, I think the situation was, I think the balance is a little different by the time you warm your car up and on the primaries. I think the balance is just like Ferrucci said, that in the middle of the corner, they're not turning quite as good as they wanted to. So maybe they're just kind of getting a good run on this used set of alternates before they put another set of stickers on.
Will Power is the latest to clear that Scott timing and scoring loop. We are picking up the machine of Pato Award. We see him come off in turn number 14, and we've reached the halfway point, essentially, of the session, Davey. About 8 minutes to go, under 8 minutes to go, in fact, and it looks like the pit lane going to be a busy place.
Yeah, I think we just see Newgarden go by. There's still a little bit of time to get that. As long as you're in here like that 6-minute mark, I think is really key.
David Malukas, let's pick David Malukas up in turn 1.
So as Will Power and Scott McLaughlin come to pit lane, David Malukas stays out of the racetrack. So does Joseph Newgarden. So does Alex Palou. Mark, they're all clear of turn number 1.
And it looks like AJ Foyt Racing is starting to find some mid-season mojo, Jake Query. David Malukas looked awfully good at Worldwide Technology Raceway. He faded a bit toward the end, but both he and Ferrucci are top 10 contenders now, week in, week out.
The blue accentuation of that car of David Malukas matching that of the sky above him as he works his way through turn at number 5. Then Joseph Newgarden in that baby blue as well. Both of them very clean, Michael, through turn number 6 as Alex Palou kicks up a little dust at the exit of 5.
David Malukas works his way through turn number 7. What stands for the future for David Malukas? Will he be making a move in 2026? We will find out, but certainly he is hitting his stride, the midway point of 2025.
I think it's not a matter of if he makes the move, it's when, Davey.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, I completely agree on that situation. It's going to happen, just don't know when. And right now, I have to say he's going to come in right now, too. He has the opportunity to be on a pole. I really think that. I feel that he has a super fast car. Put those alternates on and then go back out with just under 6 minutes.
Been impressed with what Louis Foster's done so far in this qualifying session. He's P2 right now with award P1.
Yeah, and one great thing, Graham is a good teammate. Obviously, he went in, he ran a good run, and then he went over to Foster's car and peeked inside and said, hey, here's what the car's doing, and here's what you need to do. And it obviously worked for Foster, laid a really good lap down. And as you said, Devlin may have been able to make as well as Malukas and Newgarden head to pit lane.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've reached that 6-minute mark of the session, and that means it's time for everybody to come in and get a fresh set of alternates. And among the interested spectators to the proceedings is Alex Wolf.
Yeah, it's the proverbial feeding time at the zoo, the front half of this pit lane, as you got Will Power in, Scott McLaughlin, Pato Award, David Malukas is going to be coming in momentarily, as well as Joseph Newgarden. Malukas slowly comes in. He'll shut the car down and they'll cool it off as we see Felix Rosenquist rolling back out. So onto a sticker set of reds all the way around as there goes David Malukas.
And Nick Yeoman, the exit of pit lane, going to be a very busy place. Why don't you give us a roll call, because you've got a bird's eye view of that.
Yep, bunch of them coming off of pit lane. First is the Swedish driver Felix Rosenquist. Then it's Scott McLaughlin, followed by his teammate Will Power. David Malukas is off of pit lane. So is Joseph Newgarden, Alex Palou, and that red Solo Cup machine powers out of turn number 1. Last couple cars, Mark, at least for now, include the winner at Worldwide Technology Raceway, Kyle Kirkwood, and then, of course, the good story of qualifying Callum Ilott for that Premise Chevrolet. They are all on the racetrack, Mark, doing their outlap.
5 minutes to go in the session, and Pato Award is P1, then Louis Foster, Alex Palou, Kyle Kirkwood, Graham Rahal, and Joseph Newgarden trying to get into the Firestone Fast 6. Scott McLaughlin, Malukas, Rosenquist, Power, Lundgaard, and Callum Ilott. You're going with David Malukas to be P1 at the end of this session, or overall?
Well, I think he can be overall, but I mean, we'll see. I think he can make that. Right now, I have Palou, Lundgaard, Power, Graham, Pato, and Kirkwood. I don't have him on my list right now, but we're gonna. I think he has the speed that he can get it done.
Michael, did I see a couple of front runners not playing nice through your portion of the racetrack?
Whoa, yes, indeed. So Joseph Newgarden came out of 6th rather slow. Alex Palou wanted to go by, and Joseph Newgarden said, well, I'd like the center of the track as well. So Alex Palou had to check up, and I'm sure a little frustrated at Joseph's maneuver.
Well, they'll on a 4-mile track, one thing's for sure, Davey, they do have plenty of time to get themselves sorted out before they get back to that time.
There's 12 cars and 4 miles. If there's not an empty racetrack, it's on them, that's for sure, because there's plenty of space out there.
Well, the XM machine, thanks to all of you joining us on Sirius XM this afternoon. We think that most of you are probably rooting for Felix Rosenquist, and understandably so, because that's the livery that's on the side plot, and that cool-looking race car now as he crests the hill and heads back to turn 1.
Here comes Felix Rosenquist, blue and white, the colors on that car from Irish Shake Racing. He's had a really good season, top 5 in the points for most of the year. He'll exit turn number 1, takes all 4 Firestone Firestone over that curbing. Scott McLaughlin will follow, as will Power, marked down into turn 3.
Now, McLaughlin and Power are weaving back and forth a little bit when they cross that start-finish line. So is this essentially their out lap, and they'll want to be full song by the time they get back to the timing loop?
I think they're just trying to get a little more heat in those tires, and their best lap's probably going to be their next one of those tires. So usually they're either doing that to clean the tires or get some heat in them.
A lot of folks got to be wondering why on earth and how do you need to build heat up on the tires when the track temperature is 121?
Yeah, but it does take a little extra time. I mean, I'd say the track temp itself is not near as high as it could be if we had direct sunlight on it.
So again, we've got Pat Ward, who is P1, then Louis Foster, then Alex Below, Kyle Kirkwood, Graham Rahal, and Joseph Newgarden. The second half of the session going to get interesting for McLaughlin, Malukas, Rosenquist, Will Power, Christian Lundgaard. Those are the ones that right now are on the outside looking in. And Davey, let's face it, win, lose, or draw, this is going to be a very positive day for Callum Island and that Prema team.
No, you're not going to start worse than 12th. Best start of the season by far for that team and that driver. And they're learning a lot. They're going to get a lot out of there. Even Schwartzman's going to end up, in the 17th quickest for this session. And I think that's pretty good for him, too. We've really marked them in 20th and back.
Louis Foster heads to turn 1, Nick Yeoman.
And Louis Foster's done a nice job because there's nobody in front of him and nobody behind him. There comes his teammate, though, Graham Rahal. So 2 bullets in the chamber mark for David Letterman, Mike Lanigan, and, of course, Bobby Rahal here in qualifying.
Pretty good separation between those teammates as Felix Rosenquist just now crosses the start-finish line, not the timing line. So Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan heads to turn 5 with Jake Query.
And, of course, another from that stable would be Devlin DeFrancesco, who got checked up by Scott Dixon. Dixon got penalized for that, and Devlin DeFrancesco was not able to advance. Louis Foster into turn number 6. Now it's Graham Rahal. We will keep our eyes on Graham Rahal. Swings it wide, manages to stay off of that curbing. At the exit of 5 goes Graham Rahal.
And Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan cars doing a fantastic job. This team doing a fantastic job getting themselves into these better positions in qualifications. They are in the transfer role right now. Graham makes his way through turn number 8, trying to get to the fast 6.
And we are keeping our eye on Christian Rasmussen as he clears the timing and scoring loop. He is trying to improve, or Christian Lundgaard, we should say, trying to improve his position. He is currently 11th fastest, and he's being trailed by his teammate, Pat Ward. So let's pick him up. I think this is essentially his qualifying lap, Nick Yeoman, as Christian Lundgaard heads toward turn number 1.
Boy, it's really impressive. As soon as that car crests the hill on the front straightaway, that bright papaya orange, it just gleams underneath the sunlight. Christian Lundgaard, nice and smooth out of turn number 1. His teammate Pato Ward from Mexico, he'll follow a mark down to turn 3.
And again, the thing that's cool about that position that Nick is in is you hear them long before you see them. They pop into your view at the crest of the hill. They pop into your view after the crest of the hill when they head toward turn 5 at Jake Query.
And when they do so, all of a sudden Christian Lundgaard will notice a sizably more active wind coming into the head as he works his way up of turn number 5. Lundgaard, though, no problem whatsoever into turn number 6. Pato Ward just behind him.
Starting to shape up like a thermal club type of weekend for Christian Lundgaard. Been quick, looks good. Left side hits that curbing. His teammate Pato Ward through turn 7 as well.
Scott McLaughlin is flat out pedaling it. I mean, he was at a 144.8900, but as we say that, Alex Below says, well, watch this, 144.6284.
Yeah, and I was watching Rosenquist. He went to P1 just, seconds ago. He's already to P8. Everybody's on their fast lap, so question, and still on him. The checkered flag is out, so when they cross that timeline, that is going to be it for him. Right now, it looks like Lundgaard going down to Canada corner right now on the brakes hard, taking that right-hander. Looks good. Takes it to the left side, goes off track. We'll see momentarily as he crosses this timeline if he can improve his speed.
And we have his teammate, Pato Ward, who was running just behind him. Pato was in the 7th position. And how about Christian Lundgaard? Clears that Scott timing and scoring loop. We thought this would be his flyer lap, and indeed it was. He got himself to P2. We see Pato Ward clear that timing and scoring loop. It doesn't look like he's going to move on, Davey. He's going to be a little disappointed, I think, with that 8th-place qualifying.
Yeah, and McLaughlin actually pulled over for his teammate, Will Power, to see if he could maybe get some time right now. Ilott is in that 6th spot. Newgarden is on the outside looking, and Will Power just pushes in to that 6th spot down on the bubble with Kirkwood in 5th.
And we watched Louis Foster clear that timing and scoring loop, and Louis Foster jumped all the way up to P3, Davey. A great run for that rookie.
Yeah, and his teammate Graham Rahal in 6th, but here comes Power. Is he already up in there? No, he is not. He is 1 spot out. Goes through Canada corner right now. We'll see if he can get that top 6.
And it looks like his teammate Joseph Newgarden will be the last one. Scott McLaughlin is running just behind him, so we'll see what the Penske cars are able to do here at the close of qualifying. Alex Palou is currently P1 with a time of 1:44.6284 as we see the Penske cars clear that timing and scoring loop. Alex Palou goes through it one more time, and here's the way things stand now as we clear the timing and scoring loop. All the cars have cleared the checkered flag. It's Alex Palou, Christian Lundgaard, Louis Foster, Scott McLaughlin, Kyle Kirkwood, and Graham Rahal make the Firestone Fast 6. Just on the outside, David Malukas. Listen to this. A 1:45.0505 and a 1:45.0906 for Malukas.
Absolutely on top of each other. Will Power in that 8th position. Then Callum Ilott, great run. 9th spot for Callum. And a really good job, I think, for that Prima team.
They all were in the 145s, in fact, Davey. Malukas to the 1:45.0906. Will Power with a 1:45.1220. Callum Ilott at a 1:45.2532. Then a 34.51 for Newgarden. 38.64 for Pato Award. And a 45.30. Again, your Firestone Fast 6. Alex Palou, Christian Lundgaard, Louis Foster, Scott McLaughlin, Kyle Kirkwood, and Graham Rahal as qualifying continues for Sunday's XPEL Grand Prix at Road America.
This is IndyCar Radio. Find and follow us on Spotify.
At Firestone, we build tires for getting you out there. Durable tires for ticking off mile markers and for getting to your seats on time.
Start your engines.
Dependable tires for kicking up dirt or for passing on the outside. Hard-working tires for racing 500 miles and the side hustle that affords you first row. But don't take our word for it. Try them for yourself with a 90-day buy and try guarantee. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. Conditions apply. See firestonetire.com/warranty for details.
Attention, those of you looking to go on a fun vacation and see the world on the cheap. Today, the U.S. dollar is worth even more in other countries, so there's never been a better time to travel outside the USA. The dollar is worth over $1.30 in Canadian dollars, and it's the same for Australia. You can fly there today and have fun and maximize your travel dollar. Your U.S. dollar is worth over $3 in Brazilian reals, and it's worth over $18 in Mexican pesos. Plus, in Argentina, it's worth over $27 in Argentine pesos. Just think of the bargains you'll get. And the way you get the cheapest airfare to any destination is by calling Tickets That Cheap. Save up to 75% on your foreign vacation tickets. Don't wait. Call now. 800-932-1548. 800-932-1548. 800-932-1548. That's 800-932-1548.
Hi, I'm IndyCar driver Joseph Newgarden with a message from Outrun the Sun. Did you know if you filled the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to capacity 12 times, you'd have the number of Americans diagnosed with skin cancer every year? 12 times. Skin cancer is preventable. Join me in pledging to be sun smart. When you're outdoors, protect your skin by wearing sunscreen, hats, and sunglasses. Learn more at outrunthesun.org.
Welcome back to Firestone Fast 6. Alex Palou, Christian Lundgaard, Louis Foster, Scott McLaughlin, Kyle Kirkwood, and Graham Rahal. Let's go to the pit lane, check in with Alex Wolff.
And we have a chance to check on the fantasy challenge for IndyCar with Eric Smith. And Eric, the weather is heating up, and so is not only the season in general, but the fantasy challenge in particular.
Yeah, it's this week it's going to be real interesting. We got some sleepers starting mid-pack. They got some value. Two of them are named Marcus Ericsson and Marcus Armstrong. Marcus Armstrong's got 3 top 10s in his last 4 races on the season. Marcus Ericsson's got 6 straight top 10 finishes here at Road America. They're starting mid-pack. They can get you those passing points. Another sleeper you might want to watch, Louis Foster. He's going to be in the Fast 6. He's only going to cost you $8.2 million on the Grid Rival app right now. So those are 3 guys you can take a look at that are going to come through the field on Sunday.
We certainly learned the last couple of weeks with Santino Ferrucci and Christian Rasmussen that those passing points can definitely come in handy. And, of course, for anybody that has been playing or wants to start playing the Fantasy Challenge, tell the folks how you can do that.
Yeah, you can get on the Grid Rebel app or fantasy.indycar.com. It'll take you right to the home screen, and you can pick your team just like a fantasy football team each week.
Well, Eric Smith, we always enjoy talking to you about this Fantasy Challenge, and enjoy the weekend and try to stay cool.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
We appreciate everything that Eric does, a tireless promoter of that particular aspect for IndyCar fans, and also helps us out, lets people know when and where they can hear us and what our lineup is throughout the course of the weekend. Appreciate all the support for him. For over 30 years, Racing for Kids has been an vital part of the IndyCar community, connecting our drivers with hospitalized kids in each of our race towns, giving them hope while they battle difficult recoveries. At a charity event this past Thursday here in Elkhart Lake, three-time Indy 500 winner Dario Franchitti challenged Alex Palou with raising $10,000 for this worthy charity. If Alex can do it, Dario would shave his head before the start of tomorrow's race. If you'd like to contribute to this worthy cause to see Dario shave his head, find Racing for Kids on Instagram, then click on their story and find the link to donate. There's only a few hours left to help Alex raise $10,000 Racing for Kids. Davey, interesting note courtesy of our good friend Dave First from IndyCar. This chassis that Louis Foster has just put into the Firestone Fast 6 was the same one that he was driving last Sunday night at Worldwide Technology Raceway when he was involved in that incident.
Wow, amazing. You know, I mean, I know it got hit in the engine compartment and it wiped things out. Thankfully not in the cockpit, but that is amazing. This crew got that car ready. And by the way, Graham Rahal, the Rahal Letterman Lanigan team, I should say, they're the only team that has two cars in the Fast 6. Pretty impressive. You got two of their cars. You got one McLaren, you got one Ganassi, one Andretti, and one Penske. So it's pretty impressive.
I know it's tough to get into discussion around ifs and buts, but I think for all intents and purposes, they could have had all three cars in the Fast 6.
Yeah, no, you just don't know.
With Francesco, the way he's run this weekend.
Yeah, running really good. Had that opportunity to get in there, but just didn't work out. But still, two of the top six is plenty impressive.
Is this indicative of the fact that this is one of those teams where, I mean, clearly all three cars have a similar setup, you think?
Absolutely. I think so. I think they came here, and they may have veered off a little bit for each person's preference, but I think they showed up with one basic setup, and it seems to be working.
Let's hear from David Malukas.
And David Malukas just finished a debriefing. Congratulations from Larry Foyt as well. And as we look ahead to tomorrow, what do you think for this four-car, the outlook with that up front starting spot?
I think we're really happy. I mean, we were almost just trying to make it Fast 6 and commit to a 6th place finish because we really want to save these red tires. Just save all tires, to be fair. You know, the deck is so high with these high temps. We want to try to save as many primary tires, as many alternate tires as we can. I think we did a good job there. P7 is kind of, I think, right where we want it to be. It's a good starting spot, and just have some good stops and try to make these tires last.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Let's go to Joel Sebastianelli.
Pato O'Ward busy signing autographs on his way back to the paddock. He will start in row 6. Pato, how would you assess the session and the race car you've got for tomorrow?
Yeah, we had a really strong Q1, and in Q2 we lost half a second of engine performance in the straightaway, which is really frustrating because I thought the car balance was definitely good enough to transfer and have a run at Q3. So very similar to Indy road course issue-wise. So we just need to make sure that doesn't happen again because just making our life a lot harder on Sunday.
Wish you the best of luck. Don't ever say drivers can't multitask. He signed 6 autographs while doing that interview.
Yeah, I was at Worldwide Technology Raceway and saw him walking through the garage area there, Davey, and anybody that asked him, he didn't say no, and that's why he's got an ever-growing fan base.
That's right. He very, very likable. And right now, he's not the happiest guy. You know, he's not in that Fast 6. Obviously, he has a great starting spot, though. Don't worry about that. He starts in that 11th position. He wants to be better than that, but in the day, he still has a good starting spot. He knows he's got a great race team. They'll figure out what's wrong, and you know, Pato, he's a fan favorite. There's no question about it.
We see Louis Foster taking the wait-and-see approach as Scott McLaughlin decides he wants to get a lap in early, Nick Yeoman.
There will be no waiting and seeing for Scott McLaughlin and that XPEL Chevrolet for Team Penske as he powers his way through turn number 1, right in the racing groove, right where you need to be as McLaughlin heads down to turn 3.
He makes the familiar exit off at turn number 3. The left side's going to cross those yellow and red rumble strips, and next for him will be the Sargento Bridge, and then he'll glide it downhill toward Jake Query.
Scott McLaughlin knows that the time to go may be now because there's 7 minutes left here in this Firestone Fast 6. Works his way. Got pretty wide at the exit of turn at number 5. Kicked up just a little bit of dirt at the exit of 5. Now sets up for turn number 6. Scott McLaughlin.
The wind starting to pick up again. Best ever start for Scott McLaughlin at Road America was 8. So no matter what he does today, this will be his best starting position ever. Looks good down at the bottom of the hurry downs into turn number 8.
And just like that, Jake Query, once Scott McLaughlin clears the view of Michael Young, you'll see Graham Rahal come into your view.
Graham Rahal was the second to go ahead and take to this final session. Works his way through now. He's on the primary black tires is Graham Rahal. Keeps it to the middle of the racetrack as he sets up turn number 6.
What a difference a year makes for Graham Rahal. He's qualified 24th last year. Now trying to get himself a pole here at Road America. Again, down the hurry downs. Good looking line as he sets up for the left-hander of turn number 8. Graham Rahal makes his way through the carousel.
Pretty good spacing for the Fast 6. Jake Query, how about that red Solo Cup sponsorship of the car of Alex Palou to turn number 5.
That is a good-looking race car for Alex Palou. That kind of cherry red color, so familiar with the Solo Cups, of course. Sets up now. Seems to be off the throttle just a little bit. Setting up for turn at number 5 is Palou. He's on the softer compound red tires. Pretty conservative angle as he sets up for turn number 6.
And maybe interesting. Oh, sorry, Michael, go ahead.
I'm just going to say the fans in the hurry downs have their red Solo Cups in the air, saluting Alex Palou as he makes his way down through the hurry downs. Good looking lap for Alex Palou. We'll find out who's quick this time through.
Scott McLaughlin checks in at P2. Graham Rahal fastest, but again, not a lot of takers early on. Just Rahal, McLaughlin, and Palou. Lundgaard, Louis Foster, Kyle Kirkwood may be playing that tire management game, Davey.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. You know, you don't want to waste any tires if you can help it. And so right now, we'd like to say you got Palou out there. And I agree with the Solo Cup sponsor. I think it's one of the best. I mean, who doesn't use the Solo Cups when you're out of places like this?
Well, I save those for company. You know,
yeah, that's right. Well, I do too. That is my best China. Yeah.
1:46.7091 is the time for Graham Rahal at a 1:46.7552, and this is a rather pedestrian lap for Alex Palou. For all intents and purposes, Nick Yeoman, it was a warm-up lap for the points leader as he heads to turn 1.
Yeah, just like those Solo Cups, you can set them up, knock them down. That's what Alex Palou's been doing all season long in the NTT IndyCar Series. Here he comes into turn number 1. Carries a lot of speed. The entrance of the corner didn't swing as wide as some of those other cars, but boy, that car looks planted for the Spaniard for Chip Ganassi Racing.
High entry into turn number 3, gets it to the bottom of the racetrack. Doesn't wash as high off of turn number 3 as some have. Slips underneath the Sargento Bridge and angles it back to the left now and now back to the right as he comes into the view of Jake Query.
Yes, I'm obligated to say that Solo Cup car working the final quarter here of this qualifying day. The Firestone Fast 6. He looks good this time. Looks like he's a little more in through the throttle. Setting up now for turn number 6, Alex Palou.
Started third 3 times, trying to better that, get himself in the front row. Heck, might as well be on the pole. Trying to do so is Alex Palou down to the bottom of the hill, setting up, now hitting the brakes into turn number 8. Good looking line, hits that apex, lets that car drift to the right side. Alex Palou into the carousel.
First part of the session, Graham Rahal, this P1. Question it is, Nick Yeoman, can he stay there?
We're going to find out. Here comes Graham Rahal down that long front straightaway. He will blitz by Scott McLaughlin, who is just now leaving pit lane. Graham went a little wide at the entrance of turn number 1. It wasn't a very smooth angle into the corner. Good news for Graham Rahal fans, though, Marcus. He looked very smooth and fast out of turn 1.
And he looks pretty smooth and fast out of turn number 3. Left side's barely touched that red and yellow curbing as Graham Rahal is on a flyer. He starts the descent toward turn number 5.
His teammate Louis Foster, his former teammate Christian Lundgaard have already vacated this area. Now it's Graham Rahal's turn to go in through turn number 5. Left side rubber kept it pretty tight, did Graham Rahal. Swung it at the exit of the turn a little wider, and then it's Scott McLaughlin just behind him.
Foster, Lundgaard all on the alternate tires. Graham Rahal still on the primaries, trying to make it work, trying to find some speed. Scott McLaughlin also on the alternates as they head down into the carousel.
Sounds to me like Graham Rahal wouldn't mind having an extra set of alternates for race
day.
Yeah,
right on. No kidding. No, and then Rondo's primary is doing a really good job. Sometimes we see that with, you know, in the finals run, the Fast 6 going for the pole. Some of the drivers do run those primary tires because they just have a little legit longevity in them, and where they're a little faster at the end, and we've seen that happen before by pole position not being on the alternates.
Louis Foster headed to turn 1. He's in the Firestone Fast 6.
And I'll tell you what, Mark, the wind just picked up big time here in turn number 1. It's blowing to the drivers right to the left, and this is a right-hand turn, so essentially it is pushing the drivers out of the exit of turn number 1. Louis Foster, though, settled that green and black Honda down for Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Racing.
Louis Foster is still on the charge now as he's setting up for turn number 3 and clears turn number 3 with little or no problem. Louis Foster making his way underneath the Sargento Bridge, heading through turn number 4.
Inside of just the final 2 minutes here in this Firestone Fast 6, and that rookie Louis Foster looks very, very good. Michael, his car in this area of the racetrack through the wind looks very stable, Louis Foster.
He took it right off the track that time through, actually went right across the rumble strip, centered him off to the center of the car, and then got back onto the track. So really being aggressive is Louis Foster. Good-looking line out of turn 8.
Interesting to note, Davey, it looks like that Graham Rahal is going to be content to do what he's done on those primary tires. He is currently P2, and he's out of the car.
Jumped out of the car. Big surprise, and I'm surprised he didn't go out there and just try that alternate tire, but he must have got the most out of him. He felt like there was nothing left there. Put the primers on. He's currently P2. Where's he's going to start 6th? If everybody was to beat him in this session, he's the last one. He's still 6th spot, so really good run for Graham.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an issue with our timing and scoring as we speak, Davey, because we have not yet seen a time posted. Now it looks like it's starting to
how about this?
Louis Foster goes to P1 now at a 1:44.51.41, and we're waiting on Christian Lundgaard to clear that timing and scoring loop for the first time, Davey. We see him about to do that now as he's working his way through Canada Corner and setting up for those S's for the final couple of turns through 13 and 14. Foster and Lundgaard must have been like Foster. He waited quite a while to go out onto the racetrack, and we see him clear that timing and scoring loop, and he goes to P4. And Davey, there's just 15 seconds left in the session, and Louis Foster is P1.
Yeah, and right now, the guy that's going to be hustling, and he's still on track, his second place right now is Alex Palou, that solo spotter coming down the back straightaway, going through the kink right now, going to head to Canada Corner here momentarily. He needs to find a little more speed to see if he can get on that pole.
Checkered flag is out, and it looks like Christian Lundgaard is going to take one more shot at it, Jake Query. He's currently 6th fastest in the session as he sets up for turn number 4, and not far behind him will be Scott McLaughlin, who's currently 4th fastest.
So we'll watch both of these guys and see if this is the area, turn number 5, where they can find a little extra speed. Lundgaard looks very fast going into the turn and has a very good line. Got out of the throttle just a little bit, now sets up for turn number 6. Watch Scott McLaughlin do the same. McLaughlin a little earlier out of the throttle than was Lundgaard as he works his way through 6 as well.
Would not be surprised if Christian Lundgaard got the pole. Looks beautiful as he heads down the hurry down. Scott McLaughlin, these are the final 2 cars qualifying here at Road America, the Firestone Fast 6. Already into the carousel is Christian Lundgaard, and here comes Scott McLaughlin.
Foster and Palou right now would be the front row. Louis Foster at a 1:44.51.41. Alex Palou at a 1:44.63.00. Kyle Kirkwood is 3rd fastest. Scott McLaughlin is 4th fastest. Rahal Lundgaard currently is 6th fastest. Davey, he's headed to that timing and scoring loop, working his way through Canada Corner as we speak. He gets it wide, but he climbs back into the throttle. Looks like a very smooth run to that timing and scoring line.
We're going to find out here momentarily as he crosses right there. Where does that put him? Oh, not on the pole. It's going to be Louis Foster on the pole here at the Road America.
We'll see once McLaughlin clears it, and McLaughlin improves a couple of positions, as does Lundgaard. So it looks like Louis Foster, how about it, will be on pole for the XPEL Grand Prix at Road America. He'll be joined on the front row by Alex Palou, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Lundgaard, and Graham Rahal, the Fast 6. What a story.
Yeah, that's a great story right there. I mean, Louis Foster, we know that team is fast, so they got a 1st and a 6th. Now, Graham did not try his alternate tires. He came on the primaries, ends up 6th, so a good run. But Louis Foster, what a great run for him.
Nick Yeoman points it out that the 2nd year in a row that we have a rookie pole sitter was Linus Lundqvist here a year ago.
That's right, sure was. Yeah, absolutely. So what a good run for these guys right now. So it's the front row, Foster and Palou. I mean, it's going to be fight down there in turn 1, but what a good run. Look forward to talking to him.
Kyle Kirkwood and Scott McLaughlin will be in row number 2. In row number 3, it'll be Lundgaard and Rahal. David Malukas and Will Power in row 4. Row 5 will be Eilert and Newgarden. Row 6 will be Pato O'Ward and Felix Rosenquist. Row 7 will be Nolan Stiegel, Marcus Ericsson. Then it'll be Marcus Armstrong, Colton Herter. Row number 8. Row 9 will be Robert Schwartzman, Santino Ferrucci, Devlin D. Francesco, and Christian Rasmussen in row number 10. Connor Daly, Ritas VK in row 11. Row 12 will be Kiffin Simpson and Alexander Rossi. In row number 13, Scott Dixon and Stingray Robb, and then Jacob Abel will roll off in that 27th position. And again, folks, in case you missed it, a penalty earlier involving Devlin D. Francesco makes a long day for Scott Dixon tomorrow.
Yeah, it makes a long day for him, that 25th starting spot, so strategy's going to come into play. Today I got to go down and talk to teams, see where fuel mileage is coming in, what kind of race it looked to be, and I'm hoping that strategy is going to play a big part in it because that can mix everything up.
I know we want to hear from our pole sitter, but I also would be interested to hear from Graham Rahal for two things. First of all, Graham Rahal for the decision to go on primaries, in that, but also talk about how good the team feels with their performance this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. And Graham, quite a ways off, actually. Almost. He was 145.4 to 145.0, so almost a half second, and didn't put those alters. I bet he just felt like he got the very most out of those. And Christian Lundgaard, another good run for him as well.
And got to be a happy pole sitter, the rookie Louis Foster, Joel Sebastianelli.
You are absolutely right. Jubilation in the 45 pit. I can only imagine how you feel when you realized you had the pole. What went through your head?
I mean, I saw the delta on the lap and I knew it was good, but some of these guys in this championship pull stuff out of nowhere. And today we pulled it out of nowhere. So, super happy. Obviously, the 45 drop by Honda has been rapid. We've kind of been struggling in FP1 and FP2, but I didn't expect that at all. I just, we didn't change the car much. I just pushed as hard as I could and just see what we had, and damn awesome.
You say out of nowhere, but when we were at Indianapolis, you put all 3 cars in the Fast 6 on the road course. Is there something about these 2 tracks that works with this team?
Yeah, I think we're strong on road courses. I mean, you look at all the road course races this year so far, we've always had cars in the Fast 12. We've always had cars up front in qualifying especially. I think we've got a package that suits road courses really, really well, and these are the weekends that we need to take advantage of that.
You said it came out of nowhere, but expectations have to change for tomorrow, right?
For the what, sorry?
For the race tomorrow. Do expectations change now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, we're going to try and get as many points as possible. We're sitting quite far back in the championship, and I need to get some good points on the board. So, sensible, smart decisions to bring home some good points.
No better place to be on a Saturday afternoon at Road America than on pole. That is Louis Foster. Over to Alex Wolf.
And as Alex Palou takes a well-deserved cold drink out of his red Solo Cup, Alex, quite the wild qualifying session of that Fast 6. Take us through it with the 10 car.
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, really fast car all weekend, but especially today in qualifying, I was super comfortable with this red Solo Cup car. Looks very good and it's fast as well. So, we missed it by only a tenth and a half in Fast 6. So, it's just a shame that we missed it by just that much, but it's amazing to start up front tomorrow.
And of course, looking ahead to a race you've won twice before, where all bets are off with these hot, humid weather conditions. What do you think's the outlook for this car in race mode?
Tomorrow it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for everybody. It's going to be tough for the fans, for the drivers, the engineering, everybody here with the weather we're going to have. I think it's going to be tough on tires as well. So I cannot wait for warm-up tomorrow to see how the tires degrade, because at the moment we just don't really have a good idea yet. We've been doing just short runs all day. So, excited for tomorrow.
We'll let you continue to hydrate with the Red Solo Cup, and we'll look forward to seeing what you can do tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you.
That's good stuff, guys, and thanks for all your work on a hot day, and need you to let you get rehydrated and get all rested up, get ready to go to work tomorrow. Going to be a busy day tomorrow. We'll start with a warm-up session at 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, and then complete coverage of the 20-lap Indy Next by Firestone race coming up at 9:55 local time, 10:55 Eastern, and then join us for the pre-race at 12 local time, 1 o'clock Eastern, flag-to-flag coverage of the XPEL Grand Prix at Road America. So what's the debrief like tonight, Davey, and what are teams going to be working on and looking forward to tomorrow in that practice session?
Well, I think everything's turned now. Qualifying's over. They know where they're going to start. They know what they need for a race car, so let's get in there, make sure you got a good race set up on there, put a full load of fuel in it for tomorrow's morning final warm-up session, put it on race pace. I'd put the alternate tires on just to see what they're going to do as far as degradation in them and make sure that they don't lose too much speed, and then decide, okay, how many pit stops we're going to do, which tires we're going to run, when we're going to run them, and what's going to be the best tire for the day.
Now, your day's not done. You've got some two-seater
Yeah,
rides
I
tonight,
got some
don't you?
two-seater rides tonight. I'm going to be around here for another 4 or 5 hours.
Well, I know that you enjoy the interaction with the fans and the response that you get, and we should want to mention that folks that live up in this region that happen to be fans of the Green Bay Packers will be interested to know exactly who you are putting in the fastest seat in sports tomorrow.
Well, fortunately, you know better than I do.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs,
that's
two-time
right.
Pro Bowl
That's
running
right.
back. And
Josh is, I know your son's a big fan.
Oh, my
I have
goodness.
a brother-in-law's a big fan, so I may have to get a few autographs from him. But, yeah, it's going to be an honor to give him a ride, and hopefully he enjoys it.
Yeah, that's a cool part of that job is some of the folks you get to get up close and personal with. So join us tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for the final warm-up session. 9:55 local time, Indy next race, and then flag-to-flag coverage of the XFL Grand Prix at Road America comes your way at 12 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The director of IndyCar Radio is Chris Pollock. On-site engineering and production, courtesy of Rick Evans. Master control operations by Corbin Lingenfelter. Great calls, as always, out on the course from Nick Yeoman, Jake Query, and Michael Young. Joel Sebastianelli and Alex Wolf with a great job all day long, bringing us all the insight from the pit lane. For Davey Hamilton, this is Mark Jane. So long for now from the XFL Grand Prix at Road America.
The preceding was an exclusive copyrighted presentation of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network.
Hi, I'm IndyCar driver Joseph Newgarden with a message from Outrun the Sun. Did you know if you filled the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to capacity 12 times, you'd have the number of Americans diagnosed with skin cancer every year? 12 times. Skin cancer is preventable. Join me in pledging to be sun smart. When you're outdoors, protect your skin by wearing sunscreen, hats, and sunglasses. Learn more at outrunthesun.org.
Learn how thousands of smart homeowners are investing about $1 to avoid expensive home repair bills. John, a former non-customer, said, "My air conditioner broke and I had to spend $1,900 to fix it." Jeff, a customer, wrote, "My air conditioner broke and I got a new one at no out-of-pocket cost." Mary, a former non-customer, wrote, "My heating system stopped running. I had to spend $3,000 to get a new one." Lisa, a customer, wrote, "My heater stopped working. I got it fixed at no out-of-pocket cost." For about $1 a day, you can have all the major appliances and systems in your home guaranteed fixed or replaced. Call now. If the lines are busy, please call back.
Call the Home Warranty Hotline now at 800-413-4376, 800-413-4376. 800-413-4376. That's 800-413-4376.
Get ready for the ride of a lifetime. And take a trip in a real IndyCar at your favorite track.
That was incredible.
This is Davey Hamilton. Come ride with me at the next NTT IndyCar event and see what it's like to be a real IndyCar driver. It's the fastest seat in sports, and you should be in it.
That was amazing.
Sessions are selling out fast. Go to IndyRacingExperience.com to make your racing dreams come true.
Man, that was awesome.
Sports fans from Indianapolis, Indiana, from the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, this is Sid Collins.
I'm Paul Page.
My name is Lou Palmer.
This is Bob Jenkins in the Master Control Tower.
This is Mike King, and this is the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
And he's on it.
When the qualifications opened on the fourth day, history was made. In less than 5 minutes, 39-year-old Janet Guthrie of New York City had qualified for a 500-mile race.
In company with the first lady ever to qualify at Indianapolis, gentlemen, start your engines.
They're side by side. Emmo on the inside. Al caught in traffic. Goes high. There's Dutch wheels. Oh. Junior into the wall hard. Emerson Fittipaldi keeps on going.
Not only guys, but Texas, but the eyes of the world are on this great man. And now to call the checkered flag, our chief announcer, who did call a great race today, Paul Page.
A.J. Foyt down the main straightaway. The checkered flag is out. A.J.'s hand in the air. He is the winner. A.J. Foyt at Indianapolis has won his fourth 500-mile race.
Al Unser Sr. had not led here since 1983. He's going to win his fourth Indianapolis 500. He's got one more turn to negotiate, and he'll be home free. He's only the third driver in history to win the race from the 20th starting position to call the winner. Here's the voice of the 500, Paul Page.
And history is matched as the twin checkered flags come out for our second four-time winner of the Indianapolis 500, Al Unser.
The fans on their feet waving their hands as Rick Mears goes by and heads to 4. He's closer to that checkered flag.
Just one more turn to go. The crowd roaring. Rick Mears heads toward number 4. He's down the main straightaway. Here's Bob Jenkins.
Rick Mears becomes the third four-time winner of the Indianapolis 500, winning the Diamond Jubilee Edition, the 75th running of this great speed classic.
Al Unser Jr. has the lead. One more turn to go. Here they come. Coming to the finish line. Bob Jenkins, who's going to win it?
The checkered flag is out. Goodyear makes a move. Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second. Perhaps the closest finish in the history of the Indianapolis 500.
This is Sid Collins, the voice of the 500, wishing you good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where in the world you are right now. We're here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the crossroads of America.
From the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Indy Racing Northern Light Series takes to the air with live coverage of the 84th running of the Indianapolis 500. Today, the Northern Light Cup drivers vie for the richest purse in auto racing, over $9 million.
Checker flag.